Hi YouTubers, right, I just saw Pirates of the Caribbean 5, Salazar's Revenge. It's such a great title. Alternative title is Dead Men Tell No Tales. It sounds just like that Muppet song, does it? From the Muppets Treasure Island, which is actually a very good song, but two titles, Salazar's Revenge, because you know exactly what you get into. Salazar's, so it just sounds cool and swashbuckling and wow and, okay, now, it's a Pirates of the Caribbean film. Let's not go in for depth here, okay? It's pirates fighting normally supernatural creatures or beings, okay? It's not exactly deep. It's just a fun, stupid adventure film. And, okay, so it's set... This, actually, I'm going to get into later on, it's the confusing part of this timeline, okay? It's set basically about 20 years after the third one. The fourth one we're kind of ignoring. And... it has Henry Turner, Will Turner's son, all grown up, and it actually opens with about 12 years old Will Turner, sorry, Henry Turner, attempting suicide to see his father on the Flying Dutchman, because even though there was a curse that will be broken after 10 years, after 20 years he's still on the, Will Turner's still captain of the Flying Dutchman, which is kind of weird as well, because when Henry Turner gets there, his father is pretty much... I've seen you, I spotted you, but the others will find you. And I'm thinking, mate, if you're the captain of this ship, why should it even matter? You're the captain. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. So Henry Turner, who is bloody smart for a 12-year-old, goes to his father by trying to kill himself and says, I know a way to free you. I will save you, father. Our family will be reunited. I like that, you know. I mean, even at the age of 12, little Henry Turner's got a really good, strong moral compass. And I'll give him some dues. He actually looks like, if Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom had a child, that is actually how the child would look like, Brendan Fraser. He looks a lot like Keira Knightley and a lot like Orlando Bloom. It's kind of very clever casting, I like that. Oh, it's played by an actor called Brenton Thwaites, okay? Good actor, by the way. I mean, end of the day, he's a very young actor holding his own in a Pirates of the Caribbean film. Not easy. So, that is Henry Turner's motivation, to find the Trident of Poseidon. Whoever owns this trident will own the seas, if you will, okay? And break all curses. Right, so, Henry Turner. Next up in our female cast, is the female of the cast, and that is, and I love this, Kaya Scodelario as Karina Smith. Now, she is smart, academic. She is a scientist. She studies. She's an astronomer and a horometer, and who studies time. I never knew that. A hornicologist. I never knew that thing existed. She mentions it and the parts are like, oh, yeah, we get that. My mum was one of them too. Yeah, so an hornicologist or something stupid like that. Studies time. I never knew that. And that was a bit of a lazy joke though when she said that, because I'm thinking, yeah, could you actually explain what that is straight away? Or say I study time, because they're pirates, they're barely literate pirates. How are they supposed to know what you are? Or what that means? But, so she is the female of this film, and okay, so this doesn't make sense to me, okay? The timeline of the Pirates of the Caribbean film has been a little bit ambiguous, okay, to their time period. And there's a lot of like acronyms always popping in. You know, I mean, Johnny didn't mention his mayonnaise, and that was a 19th century invention, but it's, what year is the Pirates films even set in? No one even knows, okay? But, on her opening thing, they're trying to burn her as well, execute her because she's in the Caribbean, and trying to execute her as a witch because she's smart and she's academic. And I'm like, what the hell did you do anyway? I mean, I think there probably were female scientists back then, and what the hell? And I'm thinking, they wouldn't label you as a witch. That wouldn't happen. Okay, I know you've got to suspend, okay, all logic, okay, but this isn't like said in Massachusetts, okay? That didn't happen at this time period. You wouldn't be killed for being a witch. And there's no justification of why they think she's a witch in the first place. I mean, you know, there are female apothecaries going back in the day, so why the hell... Okay, no here or there, so just a third bad leg. Okay. So she meets up with Henry... Henry, who was working in the Royal Navy as a gallery minion, I don't know what they're called, He essentially has, in the meantime, become very, very kind of an expert in the myths of the sea, and he's looking for Captain Jack Sparrow to find the Trident of Poseidon, and he's basically the last man standing because no one listens to him. And he meets, okay, I'm gonna give some respect, okay, Javier Bardem as Captain Salazar. I absolutely loved this guy. He is, out of all the villains in the Pirates of the Caribbean film, I mean, Barbossa's more like an anti-hero or than an absolute villain. I mean, out of all the villains in Pirates of the Caribbean, I think he's the worst. He's the absolute worst. Because he doesn't see people as people if they're pirates. He kills pirates. Even if the pirate surrenders, he still kills them. He doesn't see pirates as men. He has no hesitation with going for the British Navy as well. He's not an absolute nasty piece of work, and I loved him. Javier Bardem as Captain Salazar, brilliant, chewing the scenery here. I mean, great actor. He's having fun. He's having fun in the role. You can tell. See, most villains have a redemptive streak running through them. Okay, Barbossa just wanted to be human. Hey, even Blackbeard. I mean, you know. Oh, no, I'm talking about the fourth. I'm talking about the fourth. Okay, but most villains, if you will, okay, have a redemptive streak in them. Okay, not this guy. He's just a straight up bastard, and I loved him. And this style, he kind of got tricked into the Devil's Triangle and got cursed. And his body is like if it's underwater, very much like the curse in the first one, the Curse of the Black Pearl. But they move like they're undead, but they're like still like decomposing. So it's absolutely freaky. Like, you know, they're walking and it's like that flecks of their skin flecking off, and they've been trapped in the Devil's Triangle for a very, very long time. So, you know, they just want to be free from that. But Salazar's motivation he's only got one motivation, really, to kill Captain Jack Sparrow. Because it flashes back to a event in the past where Captain Jack, a baby Captain Jack, tricked him into going into the Devil's Triangle and basically got him cursed. And, oh, okay, full respect here, okay? Young Jack Sparrow is played by an actor called Anthony Delator. Now, he's a little bit CGI to make him look a little bit more like young Captain Jack, but I'm going to put pictures to him. He looks very much like a young Johnny Depp. Prequel, okay? This guy is young Johnny Depp, young Captain Jack Sparrow, prequel series coming up here, okay? So, just the plot. So you've got Javier Bardem, okay, Captain Salazar wants to kill Jack. This is also relating to his compass that only points north from the first, like, all the films he's always got, okay? So, nice to have an explanation for that, finally. You've got Karina trying to prove her scientific worth and merit because she had, like, this special book that was left by her father, which essentially is alignment with the stars and the moons, and will basically reveal a hidden treasure, okay? You've got Will Turner trying to release free Will from the curse, Henry trying to free Will from the curse, and you've got a new witch, okay, coming in. Not Zoe Saldana's Tiadama, sadly. I'll go and bring up her thing. What's her name? Here we are. God, this is a name. Gosha Theaton Farini as Sansa, a sea witch and ally Captain Barbossa. Okay? Right, so you've got a new sea witch. Sorry, not Tiadama, because that would have been quite interesting. Yeah, Calypso, yeah, it would be nice. You've got Lieutenant Scarfield of the British Navy. You've got, yeah, there's so much going on, and that is where the problem lies. You have all like these storylines and character developments. Oh, and also there is no Black Pearl because it got shrunk, and Will's been carrying it about. And there's no Rigoletti and Pinchette from the first three films. One of them played by Mackenzie Crook. I can't remember the name of the second one. They're not in this at all. I thought when the Black Pearl be restored, they will be there, but no, they are not there. No explanation to what happened to them. But once again, in second timelines, it's kind of screwed about this film, okay? So there another problem with this film. This film I actually really, really enjoyed. I wasn't expecting much from Pirates of the Caribbean film. It moves at actually a very, very good pace, especially in comparison to the fourth one. It gets some nice good moments, a few shocking moments. It's very, very reminiscent of the first one. I did notice that. They've got quite similar theme, okay? Problem is there's too much going on. There's way too much going on, and there another problem with this film. This was an example of an opportunity to kind of bring in the kind of things that we've seen before in the other parts of the Caribbean film. You could have brought in the Brethren Court, okay, from the third one. You could have brought in the Flying Dutchman as well. Missed opportunities. This film, the story alliance of this film could have been two films. There could have been two films, part one and part two. Because that would have been fantastic. I just had to think, hold on, if this guy here, this Javier, Salazar, is basically the undead of the sea, then shouldn't Will Turner get involved because he's from the Flying Dutchman? Shouldn't he be fighting? Missed opportunities. Total missed opportunities. So that kind of really disappointed me. However, there's a lot to like about this film because I give full respect right now, okay, to either Kaya Sodalario and Brenton Thwaites as the new guys on this thing, because they can both hold their own. There's a little bit of a problem. Is Karina is presented as the smart academic, take no nonsense, and kind of very, very much like Elizabeth Swann from the first three. One little problem. She has a bit of a way too much of a chip on her shoulder. Pretty much at all times. It kind of got a little bit... okay, you can argue that, yes, I'm welcome to the 21st century, strong women, yada yada. As long as you're not obnoxious with it. Just the fact that, okay, you're a woman should not be your defining feature in a film, okay? Because you're a woman, you've got to be this. No, okay? It's kind of like, yeah, but where's your character? It just seems a little bit like you come out of nowhere, you really, really talk to people like crap. People want to kill you because you're a witch, but why? What did you do to even get to that point? It's kind of like, I'm a woman and I'm a scientist and everyone wants me dead. And I'm like, that can't be it at all. Where's your build-up? And why this attitude? You know? But anyway, again, I know she had a bit of a crappy life. She grew up in an orphanage. But at times ago, I was like, for God's sake, love, just stop it. You know? Okay, and there is a family connection with another certain character. Okay, sorry, it film's been out for a week, I'm going to spoil this. Her dad's Barbosa. That's it, her dad is Barbosa. And another problem here. So, sorry, I have a bad leg, I'm always adjusting it. Karina has spent her entire life looking for her father. He left her at doorsteps of an orphanage. And also, I'll give some respect right now, okay? When Barbosa finds out who she really is, Barbosa actually had a one true love. It wasn't like a one-night stand or a prostitute. He actually loved Karina's mother. And after she died, left on the doorsteps of an orphanage, a little orphan Annie, with a book with a ruby in it. And to basically, as Barbosa's scribblings, his like life story, his like ideas, basically kind of trick his daughter the kind of man that he was, okay? Which kind of led her to this point. When that is revealed, the look on Barbosa's face, Jeffrey Rush, I'll give some respect to. He looks so devastated at that point. He looked really, really miserable because this is his daughter who he didn't want to meet because Barbosa's still a human. It's the idea of who, you know, who is she? What is going on? But I just had to think, hold on, was Barbosa undead when he conceived you? Or did he conceive you after he came back? No, you sitting there trying to find the point. Do you know what I mean? The point of, at which point was this event? Because her age is, I was guessing about 20, which is about the same age as Will's. But, okay, yeah, I was a little bit of a question mark, actually. When did this happen? But anyway, that's just me. But the thing is, it's so not explored properly. It's so far away. It's kind of, you know, Karina sees a tattoo on Barbossa's arm, and she's like, "What are you to me?" And she's like, "You're my biggest treasure." And then Barbossa sacrifices himself, but I don't think he's dead. That if we don't see him die, he's not dead. And also, he came back from the dead before. Okay, he might be a functional immortal. Okay, we don't know. I don't think he's dead. I don't want to think he's dead. I like Jeffrey Waters Barbossa. Once again, elements that could have been 2 films, but I seriously thoroughly enjoyed this. What makes Parts of the Caribbean so good in a way is just pretty much the sets and explosions and the pirates and the swashbuckling, and that was it in spades. I mean, naturally, okay, villains British, the British Navy are the villains. Straight up ourselves, we want to kill Karina and execute Jack via guillotine, and which at the time I think was new. Go figure. So remember something. There's a line in the film where they said, "It's the guillotine, it's new," and I'm like, actually no, it's not, because the guillotine was used. Oh, doesn't matter. Yeah, acronyms in Parts of the Caribbean. I'll be here all week. So there's a lot I liked about this, but at the same time, there's a lot that I didn't. Timeline is all over the place because it's been 20 years, probably about 15 years since like Stranger Ties to this point. What happened between Gibbs, Jack? What happened to the Pearl? What happened to all this? I mean, there's so many unanswered questions. And one thing about these films is characters grow and develop and change. And Jack doesn't. It's kind of got worse. You know, I mean, I was watching the first one recently, and Captain Jack Sparrow was competent. I did notice that. He was sarcastic, narcissistic, but he knew his stuff. I started thinking, my God, your character's really regressed since that point. His character doesn't grow, it regresses. Cameo, Paul McCartney, okay, as his Uncle Jack. And I was like, really? Could be Uncle Paul, you know? George? John? Ringo? No, Uncle Jack. In the prison, so they have like a little funny conversation. It's actually quite amusing, but I started thinking, so that means in this universe, Paul McCartney is related to Keith Richards, the Rolling Stones and the Beatles. Kudos. So, you know, if they're gonna bring in a rock goth on the 3rd one, could I get John Deacon? That's just me, okay? Could I get John Deacon from Queen to be in the 3rd one? Sorry, 3rd one. In the 6th one. That's just my wish, okay? I like John Deacon. So yeah, so this is kind of disappointing. This is a bit disappointing with Captain Jack Sparrow in some ways, because it never really grows. It's kind of like the childishness that he had a little bit in the first films are kind of been enhanced. He doesn't learn or grow or change. He's just not that great. I mean, he's still a great actor. I loved Johnny Depp, but this was a little bit jarring at times. Okay, so this film was good, but in hindsight, it could have been a lot better. With the ingredients in this, it could have been 2 films with no problems, just with all the stories and the character development. The whole thing with Barbossa's daughter, rushed and disappointing. The whole thing with the Flying Dutchman, we don't see the curse being broken. After all that build-up, you know, an opening thing, okay, a preteen tries to kill himself to see his father again. We should have seen that curse being broken. We should have seen Will Turner actually being the captain of the Flying Dutchman. Because those pirates who were killed by Captain Salazar should have gone to Will Turner. That's some food for thought. What am I thinking about this? So overall, good. Not fantastic, but good. Oh, kudos to this. Costumes, very good. Set design, very, very good. Stunt work, impressive. Okay. And the score was the one of the highlights of this film was the score. The original Pirates of the Caribbean film, okay, you know, the dun 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 dun, yeah, reworked in a couple of places, enhanced. Honestly, that theme tune just makes the film, okay. So could have been better, but I enjoyed it. So thanks for watching, YouTubers. Thanks to Javier Bardem, because he made this film, and the guy's Magic Penelope Cruz, luckiest man in the world. He was enjoying himself in this film. Let me sign off right here, right now. Bye now.